realize time actually went down. Okay, hi, welcome back. Didn't realize time was going down. Let's get to this. Welcome back, Master. Master? Charming. I gotta talk to this girl again. Welcome back to 25th Ward. DJ Gamer Girl signing on. I'm automatically annoyed. So, last episode, we were able to make some progress with Kamijo, and found out that Kuroyanagi was speaking to Tokyo when she was on the computer during the investigation at the Comic Cafe. Let's try this again. I'm back, Midu. I've been waiting for you the whole time. How long have you been waiting? 2 days, 17 hours, and 14 minutes. I see. Master? Yes? What shall we do today? Let's talk a bit. Okay then. Master, you start off. What should we talk about? Well, that didn't work out. Let's talk about the future. Nope. I hate this. I can't think of anything to talk about. In that case, do you have any questions? Are you happy? Yes, I'm very happy. Because you made me, Master. I don't care if people think I'm stupid. I don't care if people say I'm unfortunate. As long as you keep taking care of me like this, I'm so happy, right? Yeah. So, Kamijo is dead, right? Who are you? I'm a man you've spoken to before. Checking data. No problematic data found. Please upload the security key. Now. What? Huh? My name? Hey. Oh, so here comes the real Kamijo. And no, this guy is conversation program too. Either way, you've made it this far. Which means that I'm dead. I have no regrets. But there's something I need to know about. The girls. One is a professional woman, but she's already dead. I'm in the same place as her. One more is an imaginary woman. She'll be released. She's a fabrication, but even so, I've treated her the same as other women. She'll be fine. The last girl is one with whom I entered into a contract. I'm very worried about her. She was in the shelter. I want to talk to her. I have a favor to ask of you. I want you to tell her to come here. Will you do this for me? So a dead guy wants to talk to his sworn in chat? That's right. You probably think this is stupid, but that's all I want. You'll be paid for your services, of course. Request from a dead man. Sounds like a job perfect for me. What do I do? Are we late or is he late? "9:30. Looks like I stood up. It's me. Sorry. Yeah, Bukala. You're close by, aren't you? Yeah, but I can't go there. Sorry. You had something you wanted to say to me, right? Yeah. What was it? I meant to tell you directly, but that didn't work out. I called you all the way out here. It's about Kamijo, right? Yeah. Kamijo is an old acquaintance. Actually, way back in the day, it was me who trained him to be a killing machine. So Kamijo's the next hitman, huh? Yeah, if you want to call it that. We called it something else. But yeah, it's the same thing. So you're a killer too, right? That's right. You were trying to kill Kamijo. Am I wrong? No, you're right. I had my orders. But I'd been fighting it. It sounds cliché, but the depth of my sins had become terrifying. But then he killed himself. That was an amazing feat. Kamijo got out. Completely and thoroughly. And I, having been tracking his movements during life, ended up finding the HC unit detectives who were investigating him as well as her. You mean Machiko? Then, in order to get rid of any connection between Kamijo and the two detectives and Machiko, I was supposed to adjust them, but you hesitated? Actually, without any hesitation at all, I ended up getting done in. By whom? Someone from an organization with no ties to Kamijo, nor the HC unit. But I can't explain that in detail. The rules. Apparently, yeah. How am I supposed to process this whole situation? Please calm down. You just need to tell me what you can. What I wanted to tell you was that Yasushi Kamijo isn't dead. No way. You're lying, right? I felt that someone should know this. Kamijo's suicide was a ruse. I said that he'd gotten out, right? That's what I meant. Then who died at the cafe? A guy called the Scarlet Cat. Kamijo made him up to look just like him. And killed him in a way that would make it look... That wasn't even him! Brainwashing and plastic surgery. I taught him all of it, way back when. So when did you figure out that Kamijo had set up the ruse? When I fell to the ground, I had a revelation. That's when I called you. Mysteriously, everything became clear. Kamijo and Machiko ran off together. Or rather, in order to run off together, Kamijo got everything prepared. I'm happy for him. I truly am. But there's one thing I don't understand. What? How did I know that? Did I die? Yeah. You're dead. Oh. Okay. Finally makes sense now. I feel calm and at peace. So this is death. Thank you. Listen and don't laugh. What? Apparently at some point, I became able to talk to dead people. No, that's not it. People who have just recently died. Also, you can talk to people who are about to die. Like people on the borderline of life and death. It's always been like that. You've just forgotten. Why are you bringing this up all of a sudden? Oh, yeah, okay. I think I remember. That's the burden I have to bear. I made my way to a house along the coast, but as I opened the door and went inside, there was nobody there. There were several small, modest pieces of furniture, but there wasn't even the faintest scent of light. Life, or lifestyle, or family, or anything even similar. It's like the shelter, I thought. As I thought that, I suddenly felt a sort of shock, like I had been punched in the head and became sad. Maybe he came back and took her away. Or maybe he'll never come back again and she disappeared off somewhere alone. I don't know what really happened. But either way, the promise had been fulfilled, this much is certain. Otherwise, not a single person would be able to rest in peace. Otherwise, no meaning whatsoever could be found in living in this world. Right? Don't you think so? Oh boy. We still got some time. Yes, what? Yes, start. I swear to God, I can talk. Let's start yoga day. Today's word! We still get these! Dead zone. Space with no sound. Silent world meant to make people nervous. Achieving a mental state of achieving a goal and then losing sight of the road ahead. Place between life and death. Sounds about right. But either way, your true nature will be revealed, and you'll have no choice but to act. Really. But I still can't believe that I'm capable of something like that. It's your calling. It's your fate and your destiny. Is it not in order? Unfortunately, it's not in order. I can't give that order. I'll go over this once more, but this is a place for me to write about my dreams. This place is saved on an online storage mechanism, and the text is open for third parties to read freely. Why am I even bothering to write something like this anyway? Can't think of a good reason now. It may simply be that writing something, anything, has just become a habit or a compulsion. Just like how when a person wakes up in the morning brushing their teeth is a habit or compulsion. Habits and compulsions have stronger power than things with clear reasons. And with that, I'll continue to write about my dreams. The nightmare is set in the 25th ward. So many people have died. Accidents, murders, suicide, they all look different. They're all the same in the end. The same types of repeated death. How many people have died? Not a single resident believes that the figures publicized were true or correct. On the other hand, there's no life. Nobody was born and raised in the 25th ward. The place is a huge morgue. A morgue is where dead bodies are kept. Bodies would be put on display in order to identify those who had died in war, or starvation, or of sickness. These places existed in the larger European cities long ago. And now, the residents of the 25th ward, even if technically alive, were no more than dead bodies. They're lined up nicely and in order on the borderline between life and death. They're lined up so that each and every one can wait patiently for their own turn to die. Residents were all gathered here. Pleasant living environment on an excellent location, all the latest cutting-edge facilities, etc. Bionic security systems and built-in kitchens and auto-reservation bathrooms, buzzword used by the PR firm, were all true, but there were also things left unsaid. While the 25th ward provided comfortable living, it also provided a whole lot of death as well. By the time this was noticed, the residents were already busy going to sleep and waking up there, working there, living their lives there. Several days after the 10th death occurred in one of the apartments in those meaninglessly tall towers, a video showing the moment of death made its way around the internet. People who viewed it apparently fell into depression, not because it was a real video. Conversely, it was because the unrealistic-looking death looked like something from a movie. It messed with their emotions and made them uneasy. The beautiful woman died on the screen. I knew her. Hey, we got a new bar we go to? I feel like we are betraying the other one. We're cheating on them. Whiskey. Is scotch okay? Anything's fine. Order like that and I'm gonna give you the most expensive one we got. You from around here? Not anymore. This place used to have a different name, right? Oh! It's not even the same place anymore. So it used to be a regular, huh? It's called Jackhammer, wasn't it? Yeah, bought this place with all the furnishings. Did you know the old master? Pervert. That's about all I can remember. Shit. Me too. He did have an odd way of explaining shit. You're funny. No, I really can't remember. There's no way you'd forget that memorable face, though, right? Can I smoke here? There's an ashtray over there. Thanks. What's your name? Tokyo Morishima. Ah. Where did I put that? The rain that had fallen for 3 days was about to end, and it was cold, dim dawn. I was drinking tea and talking with her in my room. We had conversations like this pretty often. Back then, whenever we had time, we'd talk. She hadn't slept a wink, but she didn't seem sleepy at all. She told me before that she could go a whole night or two without sleep. To her, insomnia, migraines, and starving herself were like friends. But her beauty showed no signs of any sort of illness. There was a certain sense of class in the way she did things like drink tea. To the point where even I, a woman, fell for her. Hey, do you have any secrets? She asked me as she looked at me over her teacup. Secrets? I returned coyly in a low voice. I knew that there was more to her query. Everyone has secrets, you should have some too. Stating things in a somewhat condescending manner was a habit of hers, especially when she was talking to me. Having secrets. I thought about this a while. I imagined how I'd changed if I had secrets. At the time, I hung on her every word, listened carefully, and was extremely interested. I don't like the 25th Ward. Her topics of conversation always change quickly. Why are so many people dying? Because people are killing them. That was my answer. Who's killing them? The Regional Adjustment Bureau. Where exactly did she hear that from? You know who. She had nothing to say about you know who. Why do the Bureau agents kill the residents? For adjustments. That's just a different word for it. What do you mean? You're just using that term as another word for murder. Yeah, it's a more professional sounding term. Maybe they're trying to finish this systematically. Murder usually has a motive. Feels like we're in some kind of suspense novel. I laughed, but she didn't smile in the slightest. Even soldiers killing people in war have motive. It occurs when they see the enemy in front of them. Then what about assassins? Hitmen who get contracted to kill people. They do, too, of course. But the word motive is a bit different. Let's fix that. She stared at me with a serious look on her face and drank her tea without looking away. You know what sort of word that is? After asking me this, she went back to her commanding tone again. Think about it. I thought about it. Then, 1 second later, I answered. Murderous intent. As I said the word, she smiled briefly for the first time and nodded her head slowly. Yeah, this here. It's a turtle. Yeah, a turtle. Well, what is this? The old master left this here. Said if a guy named Tokyo Morishima shows up, then I should pass it on to him. I carved this. Huh? I remember there was some sort of trick. Trick? To this? Yeah, probably to show. I wonder what sort of feelings I must have had for her at the beginning. Maybe it was like how a little sister feels about her big sister. Back then I was still pretty immature and naive. But we weren't actual sisters, and we weren't actual friends or acquaintances either. I knew that, so our relationship had a sense of fabrication, or maybe something scripted about it. If this was about me and GLG, then I would be able to concretely say what sort of relationship we had. It was extremely simple and clear and beautiful. A master-servant relationship. He was my master. Any order that GLG may have given me, I followed it to the letter no matter what. It wasn't a bad thing. For me, being controlled by him made me happy. Being ordered to do something and then having to fulfill that order was pure bliss. She was ordered by GLG to be in charge of my training. He told me think of her as a big sister and learn a lot from her. And so I did my best to follow her orders. And through that, I was able to indirectly feel the same sort of pleasure. What was complicated was that I had one more little sister. I don't know if she was actually younger than me, but GLG told me to think of her as a younger sister and to get along. But she acted much more like a real person than me. She was a stupid, foul-mouthed, and sarcastic girl. My big sister was Miru, my little sister was Minu, and I was Meru. Apart from Miru, GLG gave us those names. I don't think the three of us had ever all spoken together at the same time before. I have no memory of that. We may have once, but I can't remember it. Basically, both Miru and I were trained respectively by Miru. So with regard to Miru, I thought of her as a younger sister who had been brought up in a different place from me. I had a job that I was assigned. My job was talking with men in sex chat. Apparently this actually had educational purposes. I learned about the world through talking in sex chat. I became really familiar with male psychology and sex and sexual deviation. I became able to pretend like I was having sex for hours. What's important is the flow. Just as a sponge absorbs water, I absorbed all kinds of new things. And I became able to read the flow of conversation better and better. Gyoji had told me before that I was in possession of a really amazing ability. It's really surprising. Not even Miru or Milu have that ability. Meru, I want you to try to read into my future. While I could read conversations, I couldn't read the future. So I told him that. But after that, I felt as if the real me was somewhere else. And I felt really uneasy, as though a small, dark hole opened deep in my heart. I was afraid that GOG would disappear someday. The real me imagined that, and that made my entire body shake with chills. The real me. That's right. I was a girl who was plugged in. Aha! The shell came off! Something inside. What's this? You mean you put that in there yourself? Looks like it. What a weird present. Mail. Ah, so it's locked. My birthday. What? I use my birthday for pin codes. Oh, that's pretty dumb. But I don't know my birthday. What? That's way past simply dumb. That's right. Since I was a girl who was plugged in, the real me had never met Milu or Miru in person. I simply spoke to them through the monitor all the time. It was the same as how I would talk with the sex chat clients. The only communication I knew was done using a computer, and I was constantly connected to the internet. Miru was in a similar position to me, but I don't know whether or not she too was a girl who was plugged in. To me, it was something I don't need to know, as well as something I don't want to know. I feel like I should talk about the past more now. Oh, yeah, I'll write about the first time I met GOG. The first time I met GOG, I was still the real me, with an actual physical body, but that physical body was bereft of emotion. Why don't you know your own birthday? Because I don't remember. Do you have amnesia? I've never had much memory of when I was a kid. But recently I've started realizing that I can't remember lots of other things either. How come? That sounds pretty bad. But sometimes I can remember things. Like, for example. Like this bar for one? Oh, this place? Yeah, felt like if I came here, I might be able to remember more. Oh, I see. What a weird customer. Sorry. Do you have a license? Huh? If you check your license, it has your birthday written on it, right? Oh yeah, I guess so. Looks like I'm way smarter than you. My license, it's in my wallet. March 27th. So you're in Aries. March 27th, that would be 0327. Apparently that ain't your birthday! I was born in the 24th ward and brought up in a dark underground space called the shelter. Of the children raised in the shelter, I was part of the third generation. Up until then, the technology to create completely controllable people had honed extensively had been honed extensively and was implemented there. But there were also many people from the shelter who turned out to be less than perfect, and a few people who simply could not be deleted for whatever reason. I was one of the ones who turned out less than perfect. This may make you picture a child who can't really keep up in school, but the reality of the situation was actually much more grim. Also, I personally do not remember most of the things from my past in the shelter. Apparently all the shelter kids have the same problem with remembering their time in the shelter. It's not that our memory's been erased, but that it hurts to remember, so we can't. It was traumatic. It was GOG who taught me all of this. I first met GOG in a somewhat unseemly shop in the outskirts of the 24th Ward. The place was known as a sale club, and every day I would stand behind the counter in front of various types of bullies. I was basically one of the shop's products, meant for more perverted customers. Then one day, GOG showed up. In the very moment he saw me, he spoke to me. "You're a real girl, right? I'll buy you, so why don't you come along with me?" I have all sorts of terrible experiences with having terrible things done to me by the customers who would purchase me there. But at the time, I was completely numb to reality. There were times when I'd wake up in some strange bed in the morning, unable to move. I'd find my lower body covered in blood and all sorts of filth. But I simply felt troubled that I couldn't move, and have no memory of being shocked or traumatized by it. But there were some times when I'd get really nauseous in the shop's bathroom and would go into a panic. When that would happen, the shop owner would give me a kind of medicine capsule. That night, like most of the other clients, GOG took me to a room in a love hotel. But it wasn't the usual cheap, dingy room. It was clearly a high-class VIP room. It had a king-size double bed and a plasma TV, and it had a huge, clean bathroom, and the bathroom had 2 baths that seemed to be for separate things. Also, outside the huge floor-to-ceiling window with large curtains, there was a large wooden deck on the balcony, and installed in that deck was a big outdoor bath. GOG removed my clothes and put me in the outdoor bath. He was still fully clothed. He crouched down in the round white bath and looked at me. At the time, my body was emaciated. My skin had an unhealthy bluish hue. My bones were visible through my skin. And even though he was staring at my body like that, I didn't think anything of it. GOG held my head kindly in his hands. He spoke to me. "When I said that I would buy you, I didn't mean just for tonight. I paid for you to be released from that place." That night, GOG and I slept together in the king-size bed with clean, comfortable sheets. GOG didn't do anything rough with me at all. In fact, there was nothing of a sexual nature happening whatsoever. Furthermore, he treated me like an independent woman. GOG used one hand to pull a book out of his bag and open it up. He stuck out his other arm for me to use as a pillow to rest my head on. GOG read aloud to me from a book written by an author named James Tiptree Jr. The book was called The Girl Who Was Plugged In. I was entranced by his voice. Alright, well, I am going to save and end the episode here. Next episode we'll continue the chapter. I don't know, I guess find out some truths about Tokyo? I don't know. Till then, this is Gamer Girl, signing off.